Hey, hi, hello, and welcome to the Ace Trainers podcast. I am Aaron, and this is...
I'm Tom.
That's Tom.
And I'm not a super nerd.
And he's not a super nerd, we are both...
I like someone I know.
Look, man. We are not... Just because we bully each other on Twitter doesn't mean that we can take advantage of each other. Oh, no. Take advantage of each other on the podcast.
Should we talk about that real quick, actually?
Okay.
Because I decided I was going to do a little bit of social media this week as well for the episode, and I did a few polls online.
You did?
I actually haven't checked this in a while, so I want to go through these and we'll just see how the polls did. But you also said that my favourite Pokemon is Bruxish, which is totally wrong. Okay. So I'm going to start with them from the top. So this is from last episode. We talked about Pokemon spin-offs, and Aaron and I, we didn't really argue as much, but like we disagreed about the certain what factors into a spin-off game and what factors into a main game and what makes a game a main game. So I did like a couple of polls on Twitter. So we had, is Pokemon Legends Arceus a spin-off game? To which we have 5 votes, and we had 60% saying no, and I guess 40% saying yes. So I don't understand how anyone thinks Legends Arceus is a spin-off.
I guess because, like I said last time, it was like it has a subtitle. That's the only thing that would make me think that it is a spin-off, is that it's not a core, but it is. But it's not. It's like I said, this is one of those grey areas where we were like,
yeah,
we didn't know.
I'm not going to break these down and go crazy about every single one, but I will just go with like what people have said. So, is Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee a spin-off game? Yes or no, Aaron is stupid. 7 votes, with 57% saying yes.
So this backfired, didn't it?
It did. I never would have expected that, actually. I was like, surely not. But okay, so our Pokemon Colosseum and XD spin-off games, 83% said yes.
Man.
Fair enough. I'll move on with that. Finally, what makes a Pokemon game a main series game? A Pokédex, an Elite Four, your choice of starters, or can you just stop gatekeeping? To which everyone said stop gatekeeping, pretty much.
Fair.
A couple of people said a Pokédex and your choice of starters. Nobody said an Elite Four.
No.
So
a fair play, though. I would say that a choice of starters would make it better.
So let's just so Legends Arceus has a Pokédex, has your choice of starters, doesn't have an Elite Four. So really, that meets all the parameters of a main series game.
Well, yeah, but you're going by a small 2 people's votes.
Yeah. Okay, anyway. Finally, is Smash Bros. A spin-off game? Absolutely not. 100% no.
Yeah,
I was coming off of, and absolutely no shade to Chris here, but Chris's favourite spin-off game was, a Pokemon spin-off was Smash Bros. In his email, so I was like, this needs to be included. And sorry, you're wrong apparently. So,
so, you know.
Sorry, Chris. Hard respect and soft love. Is that what he said?
He said hard respect and soft love, yeah.
Yeah, hard respect and soft love
Which we will be using, I feel, for now on. So, you can take that.
And not a lot of people like Golden Go.
I'm not surprised.
I'm really surprised. I thought Golden
Why
Go was
are
going to be a
you?
winner.
He looks silly.
So I've been this is going to be an episode in and of itself at some point, but like I was thinking a lot this week about what makes a Pokemon one of my favourites. And
that's a good question.
I don't want to go too far into it, but like I think a simple design definitely factors into my favourite Pokemon. If you think like my favourite 4 of my favourites off the top of my head right now are Mimikyu, Ice Cube, Mousehold, and Golden Go. They're all very simple in design. Yeah. Maybe I like a basic design. I don't like an overcomplicated design as much.
You like a Gengar as well.
True, I do love a Gengar. I've got a Wooloo plush right behind you. Like, Wooloo's very simple. Like, yeah.
You look around the room of all your favourite ones. No, that's a good...
I think this should be an episode in and of itself at some point.
Discuss this.
Yeah, it's food for thought, isn't it? Like,
it is.
Yeah, anyway. Welcome to the episode. Welcome to our podcast for everyone.
Forward.
We welcome all trainer classes except super nerds here.
Yeah, they are the worst.
So we were going to do an episode about our top 5 favourite designs from Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and our bottom 5 least favourite designs from Scarlet and Violet, but something big happened, didn't it, Aaron?
It did. So I have written down here in my news section that Ash is leaving the anime.
Yeah.
Which annoyingly fucked me right off because I wrote this down. I smash a table. Outrage.
My ring hand.
Annoyingly, I did write, is Ash leaving the anime in my notes for last week's.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't say it.
Really?
No, so I was like, oh, maybe he's not. And then literally after we recorded, it came. So
I feel like we talked about it. Maybe not on the cast, maybe off.
I think
me and you definitely had a chat where we were like, "Do you think Ash is going to leave now?" And I was like, "No,
you straight no, don't be stupid." Yeah, because we did, because you were there like, "No, there's no way," because he's too much of a recognizable character.
Now,
so this is what this episode is mainly going to be about.
We're just going to vent and process this
because because as someone who doesn't watch the anime and hasn't for a little while, like I would say it doesn't affect me, but it is a big deal in terms of what's going to happen for this franchise going for a lot of reasons, which I'm sure we'll...
So when you first found out about it, what was your first feeling?
I thought you were going to be like, can you remember where you were when they announced?
Yeah, but what was your initial reaction?
Well, I was like, oh, that's quite sad. Even though it was sort of expected, it was like, oh, shit, they've done it. Like, when you think about it, no other series has had the same... Well, I guess they have.
Yeah, they definitely have.
I was thinking, but the only one that I can think of off the top of my head is, like, Goku.
Right.
From Dragon Ball, if you know what I mean.
I don't do a Dragon Ball, but yeah,
no, but you know what I mean? It's the only character that's been, like, the longest... So, but Ash is... I'm going to talk about all of this in a minute, because I think there's a lot of interesting things, which I'm sure that you will...
Yeah.
Logic-wise and everything, there's a lot of reasons why I think this has been a long time coming. But, no, I was sort of expecting it, but was still like, oh, damn, they're doing it. Like, I was pleasantly shocked. Not surprised, but shocked. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I get you. It was one of those where I was sad when I found out.
Yeah, because
genuinely was sad. Because I think, I mean, I will get more into this later, but the anime for a long time wasn't good, but it's gotten so good at the moment. This
is stuff I've gotten written down.
It's gotten so good lately, and now I'm really genuinely sad that Ash is leaving because he's become such a great character in the show now. And for him to leave, it feels like it might be his time. He has just become the world's strongest trainer.
Where else do you go with a character that has gotten to a point where it's like, well, what do you do now?
Yeah.
Like, it's difficult to explain because I've got notes on here like, for you, where did it get stale with Ash? And I would say, I haven't watched it for a long time, but obviously for someone who's followed Pokemon for a long time, I think it was one of those things where I remember watching... I don't think I watched... I'll tell you what, all of that, it was, when there was that green-haired guy.
Max and May?
No, after that, he's like a Pokemon connoisseur. He's like a chef man.
Silent from Gen 5.
Around then, I was like, I don't care for any of this shit. When Iris came in and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
And I was like, okay. And then the new Sun, when it got around to Sun and Moon and stuff, and the animation style changed again, I was like, this looks weird and different. And then recently, though, the new anime stuff that I have seen, or what you've spoken about, does sound really interesting and cool because I feel like it's embraced all of Pokemon. But then again, this is going into the same thought as I had last week of, I feel like Pokemon is getting to a point now where it needs to just not push forward with the gens that they are making and have it so they just embrace the whole franchise because that's what's working.
Yeah, which is what Journeys was doing.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And that's why it was so good, I think. And like Freya and I genuinely loved the Journeys series that is basically what would be Gen 8. And it's,
But where do you, like I said, where do you go from this point on with the character that's done basically everything a Pokemon trainer can do or will do?
For sure. I think I've got some theories on where it's going to go, but
I've written some
we'll talk about
conspiracy theories.
But I think that Pokemon started to dip for me quite a bit before. I think it was when we got to about Gen 3 and May and everyone started coming in. The background behind that as well was that it was being produced by one company, and I think it was 4Kids.
Yes, and then, 4Kids,
It wasn't, and they changed all the voice acting and everything.
Did they?
At Gen 3.
I didn't know that.
Everyone changed.
Yes, that's why the new voice. Yeah, that was
which they say the new voice of Ash was Veronica Taylor. It's now Sarah Natacheni. But she has been the longest standing Ash voice. So
17 years?
17 years, yeah.
That's crazy to voice a character for that. Like, that must be heartbreaking in itself.
Yeah.
To be like, something that I've done for like this long, and you're emotionally attached to this character, like, must be so hard to like snap out of.
Yeah, for sure. It's so it's one of those, and I think that it dipped in quality quite a lot between Gens 3 to 5, and then I started it again properly in Gen 6 when we got to the X and Y series.
Yeah.
And the animation style was very anime in Gen 6.
Yeah.
In the XY series, it's actually a really good series. It's not the best one, but it was really cool. The whole Greninja, there was like a lot. I'll talk about all the story there because I got some great memories.
Yeah, because it's the Greninja fusion stuff, isn't it? Yeah.
And then Gen 7, they changed the art style, and I didn't like it at first, but I really loved the vibe of that whole series. Like, the whole Sun and Moon arc is great. I watched all of that, and it's like a really nice, like, slice of life kind of show rather than like a big... They took away this, like, I have to travel around the region, get all the gym badges, and they made it more about just, like...
school and doing stuff.
Yeah, just, like, living life with friends and stuff, and it was really nice. And then Journeys was the best by far, because it's just... Like you said, embracing everything. They went. That's what I mean.
They went wide rather than went tall, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So they embraced the whole franchise. Like I said, I just think that that's the way that Pokemon needs to go with all of their stuff from now on.
I feel like since Gen 6, they've really been pushing Ash as a character more. They've been making him grow as a character, whereas there was this thing where every series he seemed to almost reset and like go back to being stupid or like not quite having it together.
This is the thing. Obviously, these things don't happen overnight either.
No.
So this has probably been in the back burner now for a long time. Probably since Sun and Moon stuff.
Probably.
Animation, like you said, they plan things out for a long, long time, and it's going to be one of those things where it does have to progress. It doesn't get to a point where you're like, I guess it's like your character has to be like getting better constantly, and now that, like I said, he's done everything he's meant to do.
Yeah.
Now he's going to be a Pokemon master, like they say in the trailer.
Yeah.
Like,
so that's what this last bit is. So the end of Journeys is him becoming the world's greatest trainer, and then the little trailer. Did you see the teaser for the new series? Yeah, where it's basically Gary asking him like, "Does this mean you're a Pokemon master now?" And he suddenly has to like rethink his entire life and be like, "For the first time in my life, I've had to rethink my goals. Like, have I become a Pokemon master? What does it mean to be a Pokemon master? Have I done it all?" I'm really excited to see what. It's only 11 episodes that they're going to do, and I'm really excited to see what they explore with 11 episodes of him discovering what a Pokemon master is. Like, what else is he going to do in 11 episodes?
Being a Pokemon master was the friends that you made along the way.
It's not about the destination. Right, yeah.
It's about the journey.
But I do wonder...
Oh, my God.
But I do wonder what they're going to do. Like, with 11 episodes, that's still a lot of screen time to do things with.
This also leads to, like, some of the stuff I've got written down here, like, is one of these episodes, because I can't imagine they're all going to be about Ash, specifically. You've got other characters and stuff in this series, which, are they going to disappear? Team Rocket. Does that mean that things like...
What does it mean for... Yeah, should we talk about that, actually?
Yes, that's what I mean. What does it mean for, like, everything else? If you know what I mean.
They've already shown that a lot of old characters are going to come back, like Misty and Brock and stuff. So I feel like it is going to be a farewell series to everyone. I feel like they're not going to write everything out of the show, but they're going to say goodbye to the way you know them as you know them now. Like,
this is what I mean. I feel like it's going to be, and this again, this leads on to a lot more that I'm going to. Yeah, this is going to.
We'll break it down properly in a minute.
Slowly.
We'll go category to category in a minute and talk about it.
But like Jesse and James, for example, and again, characters that have been in this almost, well, literally as long as Ash has.
Yeah.
So this isn't just a goodbye to Ash. This is a goodbye to these characters as well, who, to me, I liked a lot more than I liked Ash, because they were more interesting to me. Both of them have their own different, but then again, we don't know if this is by them, but it feels like it should. Team Rocket isn't a thing anymore in any other game. Why would it carry on? You know what I mean? Like, they're around for the anime, not for the series, if you know what I mean.
They are, yeah, definitely. But so, I think that if they're going to be around, it's not going to be a lot. They've already been kind of half written out of the show anyway. Journeys,
have they?
They used to show up in every single episode.
Yeah, that's what I mean, yeah.
Journeys, they've started dialing it back now, and they don't rely on Team Rocket as much. In fact, Team Rocket have a better part in these new series than they have before, because they're not just showing up to try and steal Pikachu.
Yeah.
There's like episodes where it's just about them, and it's like just not even including Ash, and it's just about things they're doing, and like it's just fun.
What I mean, what I think that they will do in this is I think that they will include these characters in the series, Ash being one of them still.
Yeah.
But as cameos.
Yeah.
Much like Misty is now, for example.
Yeah.
But not in the way that I think it will be. Or not in the way that they will want you to think it will be.
Yeah.
I think it'll be aged up.
Me too. Yeah.
I think this is theory number one. I'm going to go by theory number one now. We'll scatter these in amongst as it seems fit.
Okay.
I feel like this is a very...
Go for it. What's your theory number?
I think that this kid is Ash's kid.
Right, okay. Let's break that down. What makes you think that? Is it the hair clip? Right.
The hair clip's one of them, but it's also... It does look very much like... I know that he had a relationship with Serena, or wanted to, or it was... Because Ash doesn't get into this because there's an anime about Pokemon, you know what I mean? It's not... But
they
I feel
kissed
like...
at the end of the series.
Exactly, so I feel like it will be stuff... It looks like Serena in the face. It has her like eye shape and etc. And it has Ash's hair clip, like symbol thing, his hair color and stuff. It may not happen, but I do feel like it will either be Ash's kid or Ash will show up as an adult later on.
Okay, so you're saying it's going to be a time jump.
I think it will be. I think that's the
Ash
most logical.
Going to be an
adult, yeah.
An actual grown up, like 30? Like, what are we saying?
Like 25 to 30. Because this is another question that in this, why I think Ash needs to be gone out of this series now, is how the fuck does time work in this?
It hasn't, yeah.
That's what I mean. There's no logical explanation of why he hasn't aged since he's left Pallet Town.
The logic is it wouldn't make... They don't want to. That's just
but that's what I mean. It's one of those things where it's like he left Pallet Town at 10 and then they've never been like, you are, 18 now. You know what I mean? It would have been so much cooler to see. But then again, that's because every kid who starts this game is normally around the age of 10.
Mm-hmm.
So it's as interesting as it is, it doesn't make much sense because he's gone all the way around the world for every Pokemon, is now a Pokemon master, and nobody else has aged.
Yeah.
Nobody else is time isn't a factor in this universe.
Sure.
So
you think it needs to happen
I think it needs to happen now, or else it just...
I think time is going to jump, but I don't think it's going to jump as much as you think. I reckon Ash is going to be like Brock's age. What I picture him being about 15, 16 years old, maybe 17. I can't picture him being... I don't think it's Ash's kid, is what I think.
Yeah, I just thought it was a really weird thing to put in it.
My theory, number one, is that it's going to all be set in the same universe. It's going to be a few years later. Ash is still the number one trainer and everybody loves him. He's a renowned trainer. This kid loves Ash and she wears it because she wants to be just like him.
Okay.
Ash is still going to be in the show, but he's not going to be a feature. He's going to be in there as much as Leon is in Journeys.
Okay.
You see him around in pictures. You see him on he's advertised. He's well known around the region.
Well, he would, yeah. Okay,
but he's not a physical character you really see much of. You see him every now and then. That's how I see it.
I've seen people talk about little a similar thing with Team Rocket. Maybe it'd be cool if they owned a little cafe in Paldea or something, and they had a kid. People are also saying that it's Jesse and James' kid being the...
I'd love that, actually.
Do you know what I mean?
Love that.
But it not being the main one. It's the boy character, because I can't remember their name. But did you notice that they were red and blue as well?
I did, yeah. I wrote down their names earlier because I wanted to... They're called Liko and Roy. So
I remember Roy because I was like, Roy...
Fucking Roy. Yeah. I could see that. I'd like that, actually.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be Ash's kid because I just don't... I don't know. I wouldn't like it.
No, but it would feel very Boruto-y.
Yeah.
In that sense, but...
I could see it being that, either, one of them or both of them aspire to one day fight Ash.
Yeah.
And, like we've had in Journeys where, Ash has been trying to become the number one trainer. Maybe they're trying to become the number one trainer and try to take down Ash. Maybe not in the same way, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Maybe they just want to meet him or something like that, and, they're super fans, is what I think. That's my
Pokemaniacs, as it were.
Pokemaniacs.
The other big question is the one that rattled my brain the most.
Mm-hmm.
Who is going to be the mascot for Pokemon now? Because Pikachu's not... If Ash is gone, if they put Pikachu back in as a mascot, I'll be pissed off, because it's if they're going to replace the main character, don't just be and here's Pikachu again. We've seen just as much Pikachu as we have Ash. It's a cool character, but I thought it would be a character that was very similar to Pikachu, has a 3-stage evolution line in the new game, like Pikachu. Poor me.
It's something not marketable enough.
No, yeah, but I guess it's just one of those things where it's like, would they go something, or would they just scrap the whole? No, we're not having a.
They have so many mascotable characters now that I suppose they could just.
I think they would just go with the Paldea starters, and they'll go right. That's what you're getting.
Okay, so this leads me to theory number 2 of what I think could be. I don't think it will be. I don't really want this, but what I was like, because I had the same thought as you. I was like, what do they do with Pikachu?
Yeah,
is he still going to be in the show? And I thought maybe the actual story is that Ash has gone missing, but they find Pikachu. And Pikachu's traveling with the two of them trying to find Ash.
Annoying, though.
And that would be the show. I kind of don't want it, but like I'm just that was the only logical thing I could think of was like, how do you bring Pikachu into this show and keep him a part of the show, because he is like a huge character.
Yeah, but
I think Pokemon would actually benefit a bit from stepping away from it.
That's what I mean. I think it would be so much. I think if they're getting rid of Ash, as a protagonist, I think it would be a weak move to go. Also, not Pikachu. Like also. Let's keep Pikachu in.
Yeah.
I just don't think that it's... I don't know. don't think I would enjoy that.
I'm with you. I also, I don't think that would be the case, because you'd probably see Pikachu in the promotional poster if that was the case.
Pikachu still would be let's be honest, Pikachu will always be probably the most iconic character of this series.
Yeah.
Because it always has been. Like, you think about what it could have been if Clefairy was the main Pokemon they went with for this series. Yeah. Would you see Clefairy everywhere like you see Pikachu now, if you know what I mean?
I don't think it would be the same.
No, but that's what I mean. But in an alternate universe, it would, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But maybe, what if they did do with that in this new series? They went, here's Clefairy. As a throwback kind of... I can't think of any other Pokemon in the new games that would go, here's a... mascotty kind of.
They did it a lot with Eevee lately.
But
again, they shouldn't, because they did that already with Sun and Moon, and they've done that already with Journeys as well. Two of the characters have had an Eevee that have been a big part of the show. I don't think that.
I don't think they'll go with
fall back on either. Like,
I don't think they. I think they will just lean on the new starters, and I think now
they are very cute and mascotable. To be fair, all three of them are very cute in their base form, so I could see it.
And they, in the promotional art of this, they are all three in it. Mm-hmm. So, but no, I think it'll be interesting to see what they do with the franchise as a whole. Like, what does it mean now for a lot of for the anime, for the game? Because it's not just the anime that this means a lot for, really, I guess. Like, they've added things in the game beforehand, like Ash's Greninja, for example.
Yeah.
But never brought up Ash.
No, for sure.
In the anime, in the game, sorry. So it's like, well, like somewhere, surely an Ash has to...
He has to be out there somewhere. Yeah.
Oh, the weirdest deja vu then ever. Then
that would be really cool if he was to come into the games, though, as like an
older character, for example, like, because is he in Masters?
Yeah, he is now.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It would be interesting to see what that meant for the game.
Yeah, like he'll fade into obscurity one day. You know what I mean? He'll be one of those ones that we're like, oh, do you remember when Ash was in charge? Like, was the main character.
It's just crazy, isn't it? Like,
I think, right, okay, so the reason I think that we're sad is, right, we're both 29 years old. Okay, so we've been fans of Pokemon for 25 years. Ash has been like there the whole time, and suddenly he's going away. It's almost like losing a piece of your childhood.
Yeah, it's a constant, isn't it? It's something that goes right. Okay,
I'm pretty sure we said this maybe off episode. It might even be in an episode where I said to you that like Ash will never leave, and it'll be one of those ones where in 20 years' time you'd look at the TV and you'd see Ash and you'd be like, oh, it's still Pokemon. Like, you would still know what it is, and like it's
a recognizable character for everybody. Like, people who are around our age have kids.
Yeah.
And they are still watching Ash do stuff. But again, this is another reason why I think it's just like, move on.
Yeah.
Like, it's really difficult because I really like seeing character development anyway.
Yeah.
But when you've developed the character past a point where they've done literally everything and they've lost every battle and tournament for the last fuck knows how long, and then all of a sudden they've won it, you're like, oh.
They finally took him seriously as a character, I think, and they actually made him a good character. And
like I said, this isn't something that happened overnight.
No. This
is something that they've been leading towards happening. So I think the last couple of series have been going like, he's gone to school, he's done this, he's won it. And you're like, oh. Yeah. And people were expecting it to just carry on. Like, I saw comments being like, oh, I genuinely didn't think that this would ever, like...
I didn't either, but it makes sense.
It does. I think from a marketing view, I think eventually it needed to...
Yeah.
And obviously, this probably has come from people being like, polls and surveys and stuff, asking people in offices and whatever, being like, would you rather this or a new character? And
I bet it didn't come lightly. Like,
no.
But I genuinely don't think we've seen the last of Ash.
No, I think he will come back because it'll be a legacy sort of character, if you know what I mean.
I think he'll still have a big part in the show. I don't think he'll be in every episode or anything, but I think he's still going to be like... There'll be a piece of him in every episode, if you know what I mean. Like, you'll feel his presence throughout the whole show from now on. I really do think that. I don't think they're going to stray so far away from Ash that it's going to be...
No.
You'll forget about him. I think they'll always...
Remind you of him, at least.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it is crazy to think how long it has, like, character-wise, he's been around. And, like, how much he's done... And, like, memories. This was the thing I've written down here of, like, memories of Ash. And, like, most of mine lie in, like, the first series.
I've got most of mine, I would say, are as well.
Like, the one that you also... Like, the one that comes back to my mind is always this Bye Bye Butterfree.
My first one was Bye Bye Butterfree. Did you see the picture
of him, like, going
supposedly coming back and finding his Butterfree again, which I love that, actually, because everyone's been saying that for years, haven't they?
I think everything needs to be
wrapped up in a nice little bow.
And there's little things like I've got written down here, like he never went back for that Pidgeotto.
Yeah. Well,
for example.
Yeah. That was actually one of my memories, was the first episode where they have the standoff against the Spearow, and then when later it's a Fearow and his Pidgeotto evolves into Pidgeot and fights it and then has to stay and, like, protect...
Yeah,
whatever. I don't remember exactly, but
he never went back for it.
He never went back for it. Yeah, I'd love to see, like, just all these things re-explored.
Well, yeah, like Charizard, for example.
Charizard's okay. That one's back.
Is he actually back in the?
He's in Oak's lab with all the other Pokemon.
Because I remember he went off to the Charizard Island and got a Charizard wife.
Yeah,
and then he's back in the third movie. And see, things like that, for example, like. The third movie, when you see him do it, like Charizard seeing him on TV and be like, whoa, like that doesn't happen anymore as much in the anime, because you're always just like, oh, they're in Oak's lab. Like the 30 Tauros he has.
Yeah.
They're like still hanging out, and they still bring that up, and like, it's really cool to see character. It will be interesting, because I will probably watch these 11 episodes, because it will be really interesting to see what they do with characters that you will always remember, even if you don't. Because I feel like a lot of it will heavily be about Kanto, the first series. Because I don't think you need as much reminding about, you know, newer ones. So it'll be things like, will he fight Gary again, for example? Will he go and talk to Oak?
Yeah.
You know, will you see his mum banging Mr. Mime? These questions that we've been wanting to know.
Yeah, I wonder what... Yeah, I don't know what these next 11 episodes are going to be. But yeah, like you said, I hope they just wrap everything up nicely and it feels like a really logical and, like, just fitting conclusion to that character.
Yeah, I think it'd be really cool, because like I said, I don't know, like I said, I don't feel like there's a lot to wrap up with his story. I feel like there's just a lot of, like, things that... It'll be very fan servicey stuff, these last...
Yeah, definitely.
It'll be
for us, the people.
People are crying. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people will be watching it like, I am in fits of tears because I've seen a fucking Heracross again. Like...
I really don't know what they're going to do. Like, do you think it's going to be like, I need to catch a legendary Pokemon or something like that? Like...
I think it genuinely will... I know I joked about it a minute ago. I think it will be, no, I was always a Pokemon master because of the things I've done along the way, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I think it will end up being... Because this is what it feels like, this whole... This whole thing has been like, oh yeah, we're all just... What is a Pokemon master, if you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really.
So, Okay, one more question I have for you is, do you think when they make more Pokemon movies, they're going to be about Ash? No. I really think they will.
I honestly don't think. I think they are, but they will be like, this is it now with this character. Because it wouldn't make any sense to be like, here's this character and he's gone, and then lead on with more movies. Like, for example, the I Choose You movie, that fucked up the timeline of the series as well.
It just became its own thing, didn't it? It didn't fit into the show in any way. It was just like a movie.
I remember going to the cinema and watching it and being like, this makes the least sense.
It's just like a alternate universe. Which was,
and then Pikachu's like, I did it. I was like, what? Hang on. I remember being in the cinema and people were like, literally went, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was so stupid.
Like, I was just saying, like, I feel like this is becoming very strange now that you have to remind everyone what Ash's, like, origin was over and over again, and then changing it and then not making sense. And then, you know, not being with Misty or Brock. And then, but in this series, it was with Misty and Brock. It's just weird. Yeah. Like I said, I feel like over time, I feel they have slipped with it, and I think they did go, right, okay.
Yeah.
I think it's now time that we
move on. Yeah. I don't think I want them to do more movies about Ash, but I can't help but feel like he'll still be there.
They may do one eventually, but I don't think movies...
The episodes, like the movies, are always so epic and big. Like, the episodes are always so epic and big that, like, I can't imagine them not having Ash be that person anymore, because he's like the greatest trainer. You know what I mean? Like,
it's just interesting to see what they'll do with everything.
Okay, so what are your hopes for the new series? Do you have any hopes?
I don't know. I just think
I think it's still going to be very much kids like marketed and facing, but
it will be. But do you remember that series that came out a long time ago, which is the Pokemon Origins stuff?
We talked about it, didn't we? Last episode, I think. Didn't we? Over a couple episodes again.
There were the short mini movie ones as well.
Yeah, like Chronicles and Generations and like
that sort of stuff makes me so happy to watch. If they had like, I don't know, I feel like they sort of do need to lean into the fact that it is also for people who've grown up with it.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, I think this will be very kid focused sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But I do think that they do need another series where it's like, you get what we're doing. Like, you know what Pokemon is, you're a grown man. Like,
one of my favourite things they did was a spin-off of X and Y that was about Mega Evolutions. Did you ever see any of those? It was about a guy called like Alarm or something. He had a Charizard.
And the Charizard,
He showed up in Journeys at the end. I know that much. He's in the Masters 8 at the end.
Okay,
Ash fight. I don't think Ash and him have a fight though. I think he's not.
So
he's just there.
Out.
He's not in his bracket. If you know what I mean. They have the big bracket. But like he was great, and the whole. I think that's why I liked X and Y so much, is because you had that offshoot that blended into the anime. So like it would be cool if maybe they did something like that with Ash, where he's like on his own doing his own thing, and that blends into the show somehow, and you're like, oh, that's how that happened, or like, you know what I mean? Like I'd like that. I feel like that's how they'll keep Ash. I really don't think they're going to drop him forever.
It would be difficult to get rid of a character that everybody knows so well. It's why they still bring characters back, like Yugi, for example, in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah,
people know who that person is, and like.
I feel like it was easier to write out Yugi though, because they literally write out the show and then they jump forward in time, and it's like, the stuff in the new series now. Like, but I mean, like this, I'd hate it if Pokemon did that. For example, if they did a time jump so far into the future, everyone that you know is dead. Like Legend of Korra from Avatar. Like,
I'd rather see them aged up a little bit than completely gone.
Me too.
But. It'd be really cool to see, like, all of the people that Ash has hung out with, though.
Just one more time, like,
except for Tracy.
You don't like Tracy?
I just felt like he was the one that was, like, the one that just was left out the most. Like, he was in for, like, a series, and he's like, I'm going to live with Professor Oak now, I guess.
They brought him in, I found out from that Monster Kids book I talked about a couple of episodes ago, that he was brought in because the Japanese didn't think that people liked Brock. So they replaced Brock with Tracy, and then they realised shortly after, oh wait, everyone actually really liked Brock, so they brought Brock back, and that's why he was only in it for a short amount of time.
There were other people that were in it that wasn't Misty. So I remember Max and May, and Dawn was okay as well.
Yeah, a lot of them have shown up again in Journeys and other ones, because I literally watched an episode a few weeks ago with Dawn in it.
That was the Arceus one that we...
Oh yeah, she was in that movie, wasn't she? Yeah, but yeah, she was in the series as well. We watched, and then yeah, I'd like to see Serena again. I guess. To be fair, most of them you see again.
I think yeah.
You do see a few of them. You see Misty and Brock sometimes, like not often, but they do show up.
They show up every now and again.
Yeah, I don't think it's like it won't be weird to see them again. I don't think.
No.
In fact, even Iris was in an episode we watched recently, and she was fantastic in it because I hated her in the Black and White series. But watching her now in a one-off episode, because again, she's in the Masters 8. She's one of the top trainers in the whole of the world now. And when you see her in Journeys, she's really good. She's this she is the champion that you see from Black and White 2.
Okay.
She's dressed up the same way. She has like a Haxorus, and she's really strong, cool. And she's I think she pretty much lets Ash beat her in a fight that we saw to get to where he is now.
This is another thing that I think Ash's Pokemon, they always seemed like they were very underleveled and very not. It was always like you said about Pikachu, for example. He must be what?
Yeah,
a level 1 million at this point. You know what I mean? But every single series he comes in, he gets his ass handed to him by a
until
Chimchar or something, and you're like, what? This is a Pokemon that is literally fought against in tournaments and shouldn't be beaten up so easily. It's not like a video game logic where you start a new game and you have to, or like a sequel series of a new game, which I think they were trying to do.
Yeah,
it always felt like it was like a sequel to a game.
Yeah,
and you have to relearn all your old abilities. It was there this doesn't make any logical sense.
Which is why I think it's good that they haven't done that lately. And a lot of the newer series, they've kind of just carried on with Pikachu being really strong. And him I think that's why Journeys worked, because they didn't follow Gala's gym system.
Yeah.
They just focused on Ash getting stronger, which meant he was always facing stronger opponents every time.
Well, I think it'd be really interesting to having a new protagonist.
Yeah,
every series, because I think they should do that from now on.
What, you think they should do? A new series, then they should drop them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think every gen go is a new.
I'm not saying that's a bad idea, but do you not think that would get a bit repetitive?
Well, as repetitive as seeing the same character over and over again.
It depends, though. If they make the character grow every time,
but it's sort of like the MCU in a way, because you think about how they. In the Marvel movies, they had the first, 3 phases.
Yeah.
And they were like, here's Endgame, 10 years of payoff. Wow. They're not going to keep doing... Now they've started the cycle again. It's not as interesting, MCU-wise, for example, because you're like, just get to the bit at the end. Yeah. Get to that Endgame bit. And it's you've got to go through this 10 years. They're like, no, but we've seen that. Do it. That's why I think, with this series... It would be better if they just went a new character that's interesting and different than the last one.
Yeah.
To not fit in with other anime series, because you see things like Digimon or Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
And it is a new protagonist every time, and that character is different.
Yeah, and as well as that not being a terribly bad thing, Yu-Gi-Oh's only gotten less popular as time's gone on because of that, I think, as well.
Okay, true, because you don't get attached as easy, I guess, to someone who they're getting rid of.
Digimon does really well when they bring back their old protagonists.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's a bad idea, but I'm just thinking, I would rather them reboot the show now and then really put a lot more thought into this new character set and, make them really big and, they could always add new characters as time goes on, and they could cycle ones out. But I would hate for them to have to reboot every time.
But what does this mean for Because hang on, I have to find what I actually wrote down.
Sure.
What does it mean? So how long are they expecting this gen to last now?
So every gen's been on a 3-year cycle,
but.
For a long time, anyway.
Yeah. So are you talking 3 years before you see a next generation of Pokemon?
Yeah. So I reckon we'll start seeing Gen 10 in 2025.
Okay.
For example. Just going on because it was 2019, wasn't it, that we saw Sword and Shield come out. It was 2016 that Sun and Moon came out. 2013 that X and Y came out. It's been a very consistent 3-year cycle.
Yeah.
Even with Legends Arceus coming out, they still stuck with a 3-year.
Yeah.
Which I was surprised at. I didn't I wasn't sure we were going to see Scarlet and Violet this year. I thought maybe it was going to be waited until next year.
Yeah, I thought it would be longer, which in a lot of ways I wish they waited another year before they brought out Scarlet and Violet just to give it that last little bit of...
Sure. Would have been nice to have seen a little bit of DLC for Legends Arceus as well, but...
that would have been nice as well to see a little bit extra from that game.
But it's fine. Like, yeah, I really think it's going to be 3 years before we see another gen. Like, we'll be ready for it by then as well. I don't know if they'll do another remake, though.
I think they will.
This is a discussion probably for another day.
But... No, but I think they will do... It's just how I feel like Pokemon... You get used to the formula, don't you? It's new game, some spin-offs in between... Here's a remake. They surprised us this time by going, here's a remake, oh shit, here's a brand new game.
Yeah.
So they may turn around and go, here's another Legends game.
But what did we get in Sun and Moon? We didn't get a sequel, a remake, did we? We got Sun and Moon, then we got Ultra Sun and Moon, and then we got Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. So we did kind of get a remake. Yeah, okay, right.
It's always...
We did, but it wasn't the sequential, it wasn't the Gen 4 remake we all thought it was going to be. Makes me wonder if we're going to see a Johto thing. Does make me
I would like to see another Johto thing, but I think the time for Go now has passed. I don't think it would be a Let's Go because I don't think it's Pokemon. I think a Johto remake would do well. Mm-hmm. It would do a lot better than. But don't let the people do the brilliant Diamond
Don't do Ilka again. No, they just let us down. But yeah, anyway, that's literally a discussion for another day. We could get into that forever.
Yeah, I think but that's just the formula, isn't it? That's just how it always goes.
Yeah, so you think we're going to get at least 3 years with Liko and Roy?
Yeah, I think so, probably. And then I think either they'll go with different protagonists or they'll keep these on for another gen. But I think that I don't know if because they're changing Ash out now.
Yeah.
That's like the standard.
They're putting a lot of emphasis on the 3 starters, which makes me think your theory might be right, though, that they won't keep these characters forever, because... Like,
why would they keep these characters?
How do they market the next set of starters with these 3 when they're being associated with these 3 starters? Like, it's not like they have a Pikachu or something like that.
They can take to the next one and carry it on, so it would feel really strange to... But I think that they will... But then again, will there be 3 characters then? Because they're not all gonna... or would Nimona be in it? Is Nimona a new, like...
That would be nice.
People were saying, Nimona should have been the protagonist for this. And I was like...
No, you're always playing Nimona, though. Let's be honest. Every game you play a character who is Nimona. Yeah. Like, it's good to have that big sister, energy as a rival for once.
But there's 3 starters, so I feel like...
Who's having the third?
Who's having the third?
Mm.
Is it... No, because they've said definitively... Ash.
Yeah.
This is Ash's goodbye. So it's not going to be Ash. But could it be a character that we've seen beforehand come into this? Max, for example.
I'd hate that.
I would hate it, but it's someone of the right age, if you know what I mean. But like
an aged up Max that's not annoying, maybe. That's not obnoxious. Yeah.
I don't know. I just think there's a lot of questions that need to be asked about what they're going to do with the series now that it is literally all changing so much.
Yeah.
But interesting. I'm really interested to see what they do with it.
Yeah.
And if it goes badly. It sounds really horrible to say that, but do you reckon would they turn around and go, we messed up, here's Ash again? You know what I mean? Like,
I feel like they'll leave it open to do that if they really want to. I don't think they'll close the door forever. That's why I think that's the best way I want to sum it up for me. Like, my side is they're never going to close the door forever on Ash. Like, it won't be forever.
It's a big thing though, this. It's not like, you're getting rid of a character that's been around for a series, like a season, for example. It's like someone that like, you feel like it's like a big deal.
Yeah, definitely.
Sounds so funny, doesn't it, to talk about a series about stupid cartoon animals, cartoon little boy with a hat. And
this is why we're doing a podcast.
Yeah. But it's really cool to see what would... Because that was another... Even if Ash was in Paldea, for example, what Pokemon could you see him having in there?
I don't know, but in my head, I thought that Go, who's his companion at the moment, wasn't going to leave the show as well.
Okay.
And I thought Ash and Go were going to go together and carry on like a journey style. And I really pictured them finding the Gimme Ghoul coins, especially Go, because he's like a big collector.
Yeah.
I could see him being like really surprised to one day suddenly have like a golden Go on his hands. Like, I thought, I was like, that would be such a good, like, for his character as well, it would be hilarious, because he's quite like crazy. But
maybe Go would be in it though.
I'd like that, but
maybe Go could be the third person in it.
I don't think he will.
No.
Just based on where they're trying to go with him at the moment. It seems like he's got stuff to do. Like, he's not gonna...
he's busy. He ain't got time.
He is, yeah. His ultimate goal in the whole show is to one day catch Mew. It's like Mew is his one target. And
his target, like he's got a sniper rifle.
He's joined a group with Gary called Project Mew, and it's a group that are dedicated to finding Mew and researching it.
Okay.
So I think he's going to lead the show in lieu of doing that.
Finding
to do that. Yeah. Anyway, do you want to talk about some of your favourite memories? Do you have many memories of that?
I mean, there's the few that sit in my mind, like the cave scene.
Where they're all gathering around him to keep him warm.
Yeah. That was always one that you sort of watch and you're like, oh, damn. The one where they go to the haunted house. And
is that where he dies? And then Gengar and Haunter and Ghastly all play with him. And then
and then he gets Haunter at the end and then he goes and fights Sabrina.
And it doesn't even show up in the end. Oh, no, it does, doesn't it? It disappears for a while and then comes back.
Yeah. But, I don't know. There's a lot of like, the Orange Island stuff, for whatever reason, sit well in my mind.
Yeah.
But, like, memories of just, like, I don't know, Bye Bye Butterfree was the first time, like, you watch something, you're like, damn, this is painful.
That hurt. Yeah. There was that, and then obviously the Spearow that eventually became Fearow and all that. Saving Charmander from the rain.
Oh, yeah.
And then it eventually evolving into this Charizard that doesn't respect him or listen to him, and then, like, having to deal with all that. Like, do you remember when the Poliwrath throws it? Like, do you remember when he has a fight with, like, Charizard versus Poliwrath and it uses, like, Ice Beam and then it turns into, like, a block of ice, and that's when it starts to, like, respect Ash, is because he, like, takes care of it, because it's, like...
Oh.
Yeah. It was, like, finally, like, got through to Charizard, and, like, I remember that moment really well.
The third movie, I think, is the one that... The first three movies,
I didn't even think about the movies, to be fair. Yeah, they were all good.
I think the first three movies sit really, like, are important in my mind. I don't know why. I think just, like, you really discover what Ash is like as a character, for example.
Yeah.
When he's, like, fighting a Mewtwo, and he's getting in the way of two massive laser beams because he,
We'll get drunk on Friday and we'll watch the Pokemon movies. Yeah. I got the trio on Blu-ray, yeah.
But no, like I said, the first one, the Lugia one, not as much, but the third one...
I loved the Lugia one. That was my favorite.
I haven't watched it for a long time. I think the Entei one just always makes me laugh. It's Molly! They are all good, and like I said, but the first one, really...
Yeah.
But then again, it's also going to be sad, because you, like, think about, like, Pikachu...
Mm-hmm.
Like, Pikachu's not going to... Specifically, Ash's Pikachu isn't going to be in, like... this series anymore.
Which is weird to think, isn't it? Do you remember, okay, so in the Sinnoh League, like the Gen 4, Ash had a fight against some guy that brought a Darkrai.
Yeah, I know, he's
he finally takes down the Darkrai, then he's like, Latios, go! And
he's, don't you fucking kidding?
Who is this guy? Like,
what the fuck, dude?
I was surprised he didn't show up in the Masters 8 or anything. Like, he's just so powerful, I feel like.
Speaking about,
God level, man. Like,
speaking about that, because he was... it always makes me think about, like, because people at the time were like, is this Ash's dad? And there was another guy that looked like Ash's dad.
Yeah.
And this is a question, again, which everyone's always asked, and there's a silhouette in the trailer of him and of Ash. Ash's, like, shadow, his mum's shadow, and then a guy's shadow next to him.
Oh, okay.
So are they going to finally answer the question of...
I don't think it needs
Is
answering.
Mr. Mime his dad?
The one thing we've all been wondering.
That's what I just want to know, man.
So, yeah, I remember that one with the Latios guy, and, like, I was
it's just like, he came out of nowhere, and Ash is like, I'm doing it,
who's this man?
The one. He's like,
never mind.
I remember him fighting Gary, I think it was also with the Sinnoh sort of stuff, and he has an Electrifier.
Yeah, I think that was the end of Gen 3, and I think they teased Electivire, and that's when he was like, oh, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I need to go to the Sinnoh region. I might be wrong, but, like, I felt like that was, like, the teaser for, like, Sinnoh, and he was like, oh, I need to go to Sinnoh. There's an Electivire there. Like,
apparently Ho-Oh might show up again in the new.
That would be cool, because he showed up in the first episode. I like that a lot.
Yeah. This is going to answer so many questions about his Ho-Oh, because there's always that theory of, is Ash in a coma?
Oh, absolutely not, though.
No, it's not. Yeah, but it's still one of those things where it's like he sees the Ho-Oh. Maybe that'll be the last thing you see in the episode of Ho-Oh, because that's one of the first things you see.
Mm. Yeah.
Maybe Pikachu's just going to straight up die at the end.
No.
Put him down.
Imagine he catches the Ho-Oh. I have this vision in my head, right, of this new series starting with this Liko and Roy, and it's like you see Ash on TV, but he's a little bit older and he's got like some ridiculously powerful Pokemon, and he's like still the strongest trainer.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, imagine he uses Ho-Oh. Like he's just like sends out a Ho-Oh.
Because Ho-Oh I felt like was the one that they never really
gave a lot of screen time
to.
Well,
they never did anything with, apart from that at the start. And which is also really whack, because if you think about that, the first episode you see a Ho-Oh, and it's never brought up again until Gen 2.
Yeah. Which is cool as hell. They don't do that anymore.
Not really. Like, the only example I can think of is in the first movie when you see a Donphan, you're like, what the fuck?
Don't they do that
and a
anymore?
Marill. Yeah, like, tease it in the anime.
I'd love it if they just tease some random Pokemon now in, like, the show, or, like Pokemon Go did it with Meltan, and, like, that was cool, but do it better. Do it in the show. Do it, like, where you can really see it move and, like, do stuff, and, like...
I don't think there was any other examples of that actually happening.
There was a Kecleon that showed up in Gen 2.
Was there?
Yep, and a Blaziken as well.
I think in the games would already be...
Yeah, they were being teased at that point.
Yeah, so I guess... But Gen 1, that wasn't happening, wasn't it? Was it?
Togepi was the only example.
Who?
Togepi.
Oh yeah, exactly, Togepi. But again, it was like, oh, okay. So other Pokemon exist, like...
I'd love for them to just reveal some random Pokemon that they don't show for a long time after.
Yeah.
Like, it would be great.
Like I said, Ho-Oh being like, you think about that now, you're like, that's whack. Like, they don't do that anymore. That would be so cool if they went, oh yeah, here's a, I don't know. Like, imagine if they showed off in Gen 7, like, a Gen 9 Pokemon.
That's what I was thinking. Like, what if, like,
a Gimmighoul.
Yeah, like, what if, like, randomly a Gimmighoul just showed up in, Sun and
background
Moon? Like,
or something.
Yeah, like... Yeah, they've been so good. I'd love that. Yeah,
but
exactly. They don't do that anymore. So in the X and Y series, there was a lot of cool stuff about Greninja. So obviously they had Ash Greninja, but like
we'll talk about Ash Greninja
stuff. All
stuff.
This like build up to that moment in the X and Y series where like people were like, "Oh, the bond you and your Greninja have is like really close." Like I can tell from like the psychic trainer, like the gym leader, the psychic gym leader had this like prediction when she saw it and was like, "You're going to be like a huge deal," basically. And then there's like this really good arc where him and Greninja are at like a ninja school, like a ninja like village, and they're like learning just to be like a better team, and like it's really cool. Like and there's all this stuff like where I'm just like, because that was so good.
This was around the time where they were like, is Pokemon Fusion going to be the next thing?
Yeah,
because it's never ever brought up again, and it's the only example of that ever happening in the Pokemon universe, of someone fusing with a Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like, are they going to do... I don't know how it would happen.
It was like a logic... It was like, you know, in the Pokemon games where like your Pokemon are like, oh, it toughed it out so you wouldn't feel sad.
But it has a physical change.
Yeah, it's like... But it came off the back of like Mega Evolution as well. So like, Ash never had like a Mega Evolution, but he somehow managed to achieve it with his bond with Greninja, which is so weird to think about. And I was amazed they got rid of Greninja from the show. I was like, how can they get rid of Greninja? Like...
You were such a good bond. See you later.
Yeah. It was sad.
That's why it always bothered me why he always got rid of his last team when he went to another place. Like, I get it was to be like, here's your new team. But it's like, you don't, you know, you wouldn't do that. You go into this new place and be like, yes, here is my Charizard.
Let's bring my bad boys.
I'm going to wreck you all. I don't care.
Yeah. No, I don't know. But yeah, Ash Greninja was a weird moment. And like, it was a really cool thing in the show though. And I'm like, yeah, it was really memorable to me. And then obviously Ash winning the Alola League as well. Like, was a really big deal. I remember that. Like, it was XY where he just started getting serious. You could tell the teams were better. Like, I think his Gen 5 team was terrible. It had like a Pignite and like a Snivy. Yeah. And like, he didn't evolve any of his Pokemon. They were all just like, there was like a Boldore. Like, he had just this random team of like, what the fuck is this? And then Gen 6, they had like a Goodra, a Noiva, and like, he had Hawlucha.
Decent team, yeah.
He had a really good team behind him, and like, it was really good. And then, yeah, I don't know. Like, Alola, they did the same, and like, they've just kept it up this whole time. And then the newest series, his team is the best, I'd say. Like, he has Dragonite.
The thing is, again,
like,
I just feel like the team, and I said this last time, the team he's got now in this game, it just felt like it was like a good all-round team, not all just based on the newest gen. And I think the series needs to stick with that.
Yeah.
And they won't with this, but then again, this is going, right, here is the new gen. This is what Pokemon's going to look like for now on. It'd be interesting to see what Pokemon does for now on.
Yeah, seeing where they go from here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to wrap it up, actually.
Yeah.
So, should we do some 20 questions?
Okay, it's your go.
It's my go.
It's your go.
I got a Pokemon for you.
Have you fully thought it out? Not like I did.
Oh, yeah, I know who it is.
Okay.
It didn't take me long to think of it, but I thought of it.
Okay. Right.
Let's do
You're
this.
going to write them down?
I'll write down your answers if you want, and then
Okay,
I can read
you
them back
down.
to you.
Okay, so...
I'm thinking of a Pokemon, and you have 20 questions
20.
to guess.
Okay. I wasn't good at this last time, but I'm determined this
Nowhere to
time.
go but up from
Yeah,
there.
exactly. I can only do better. Okay, so is it in Gen 1 to 4?
No.
Okay. Ooh. Okay. Is it in Gen 7?
No.
Oh no. So that leaves me with
5,
5,
6,
6.
8, 9.
Is the Gen an even number?
No.
It's an odd number.
That was a good question, to be fair.
Yeah.
That is a very good way of doing.
What does that leave me with?
So it's an odd number, so what's that, 5 or 9?
Gen 5?
Yes.
Okay.
Gen 5.
Gen 5.
Okay, so you've done 4 questions and you've worked out it's a Gen 5 Pokemon.
Okay, I've done it.
That's good.
That's
good
good
stuff.
going. Gen 5 doesn't have that. Oh no, Gen 5
Gen
has
5's got one of the
lot.
biggest dexes, but
I only remember this because I remember drawing them and being like, it's not going to be that bad.
It's
And it's been
150
you
again,
fucking
isn't it?
Joking. Yeah. I'm allowed to look at Dex, aren't I?
yeah, go for it.
Gen 5 Dex. Right. Let's have a Ganj. Is it a quadrupedal
No.
Pokemon? It's not, so it stands on 2 legs. Does it stand on those? Same question. Does it stand on those 2 legs all of the time, or is it a scene walking on 4 legs sometimes?
To my knowledge, 2 legs.
To a knowledge, 2 legs. Okay. Okay, that's... Okay. Is it a mythical or legendary Pokemon?
No.
No.
That's good.
Does it have wings?
No.
Okay.
No wings. You're on question 9.
Okay. I feel
You're
like
doing
I've got a good... Is it large? Like, is it big?
No.
It's quite a small Pokemon.
You're asking this as a second question?
This is the same. So it's not big, is what I'm asking.
It's not big.
It's not big.
Not big.
Not big. Okay. Has 2. It definitely, and it uses these legs.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not including that as a question because you've already asked me.
No, yeah. I'm just.
If it uses the legs, yeah.
Doesn't have wings. Okay.
Yep.
This rules out quite
So
a lot.
it's a Gen 5 that stands on 2 legs that uses them. It's not mythical or legendary. It hasn't got wings and it's not big.
Is it green?
Yes.
Is it Maracactus?
No.
Oh, fuck.
It is green, but it's not the Maractus.
Is it? Oh, okay. Is it a bug type?
Not a bug type.
Is it? Well, it must be a grass type then. That's not a question. I'm just asking. It's got to be a grass type, surely.
You're on question 13.
It's got to be a grass. There's no other. Oh, hang on. Is it a dragon type?
Not a dragon type.
Okay, so it's not
Axew.
Axew. Yeah, it's the only one on here that I was like,
You had me for a sec. I was like, no, it must be.
So it's got to be. Alright, okay, so that only leaves me with like a few.
You've done a good job of narrowing it down. Yeah. I'd be surprised if you don't get it now.
Does it have a flower on its body anywhere?
No.
Is it Whimsicott?
No flower, not Whimsicott.
No flower on it at all. It's not Simisage, is it? Is it Pansage?
You're asking this as a question?
Yeah.
It's not Pansage.
Is it Simisage?
No.
What the fuck? How many have I got left? It's not Snivy, is it?
It is Snivy.
Fuck, okay.
Question 18, you got it.
Yeah, I've done it. I can only get better from 18.
You did it.
I did it.
I'm going to keep the 18 there, so next time I do it with you, I'm like, right, you got to beat 18 this time.
Nice. No, I can beat 18.
I like Snivy a lot. It's probably my favourite of the Gen 5 starters. Freya hates it.
I like Tepig. I like Tepig.
I don't like the line.
I like Tepig because it blew my mind when I realised that Tepig is tepid.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. Big brain Pokemon.
No, I'm not that keen. I like Oshawott more than I like Tepig. Tepig is probably my least favourite.
Gen 5 is still one of my least favourite gens.
Oh, you should play it again. It's so good.
I as in the decks and design-wise and a lot of the Pokemon in there.
That's
like,
fair.
I don't like a lot of them. I really don't like Timber.
There's a few that I don't like as well. Yeah, there's a few that I really like, but there's a lot that I don't like.
I like Solipede.
Yeah,
he's really cool, and there's a lot of Pokemon in there I do really like.
But I would say that Snivy's probably my starter of choice from that gen.
Yeah,
actually, it definitely is my starter of choice from that gen. Yeah,
we'll do an episode on our starters.
Yeah, I'd like that.
But
that feels like a mini game though, and
yeah.
We'll do that as an intro on the next one, maybe. We'll have the women tell us theirs as well.
Did we have any emails from this one?
No,
we're saving them for next.
No,
yeah.
we have one for the next one, but it's from Kaylee, who's going to be on the next
episode anyway.
I think we have
two. I think we have a second one coming up from Chris again.
Oh.
Because he wanted to have his list. Yes, he wanted to have his list.
Mr. Hard Respect and Soft Love.
Yes, himself.
The very man.
We're going to... I think what he wanted to do was list his top 5, because this is the first Pokemon game he's finished for a very long time.
Okay.
New one. So he's going to list his top 5, but only you're allowed to read it. So he wants me to try and guess what his top 5 would be.
I look forward to your email, Chris.
You love me talking about Chris.
What? I said I look forward to your email,
I thought you said,
Chris.
I love hearing you talk about Chris.
What?
I was like, that's a weird thing to say.
Very gushy all of a sudden.
I was like, okay, I will try. So I've already thought of a few which I think you would like.
Okay.
But next episode is going to be our top 5 and least favourite Pokemon designs from Scarlet and Violet. We're going to have our women involved.
Yep.
So
there's going to be drinking involved, but we're trying not to be drunk. That's the plan anyway.
That's the plan. It will probably evolve as we do the podcast, though. What we should do is, as the podcast goes on, every time we say the word Pokemon, we take a shot.
That sounds rough. Okay. We'll talk about it.
We're going to have 2 bottles of Fireball, though, as we do it.
It'll be fun. It's going to be a good time. Anyway, yeah, we probably won't actually get that episode out before Christmas.
No, I was thinking this earlier. I was like, I don't know.
I'll get this one out before Christmas, for sure.
Yeah, so this is Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Listen to us on Christmas Day.
I actually might be having another episode out later this week, possibly, but I doubt it.
Oh.
I got a very special guest star, Matt, coming back from Payday, who's going to come in.
Very nice.
Might do a little Christmas theme episode, because we used to always do a Christmas themed episode, so I might just do a little Christmassy one.
We're basically trying to get as much in now before I go away, because because it's going to be very like. I would like to call in, but the 9-hour time difference is going to be an absolute ball ache.
Yeah, for sure.
So I feel like
let's not bother. Yeah, you're on holiday.
True. So what we're going to do is we'll do this, and we're going to have the design episode, and then the Payday throwback episode.
I'll probably keep Matt back for that one. Yeah, I'll probably wait till you're away on holiday.
Yeah. And then we'll
do some.
And then we'll do something when we get back, and then
hopefully it won't matter to anyone listening. But yeah,
it won't matter. But
I'll come back. It's fine. I'll make Freya do one with me.
Exactly. And then and then I'll come back, and then everyone will be like, "Can we get him gone, please?" It was better when he wasn't here.
Well, anyway, thank you very much for listening, guys. This was good.
It was good. I'm glad that we talked about Ash and...
Me too.
Rip Ash.
So yeah, the next episode is our top 5 Pokemon designs. You've only got a couple of days by the time you listen to this. We're recording on the Friday the 23rd. So let us know before then your top 5 favourite and your bottom 5 favourite of the new Pokemon that were introduced in Scarlet and Violet.
Hard respect and soft love.
Take care, guys.
Bye!
Bye!
Bye! Thank you for listening to Ace Trainers, a Pokemon podcast. If you'd like to follow us online, we're on Twitter at Ace Trainers Pod. We also have a Facebook page and a YouTube channel, so join us on there.
If you want to speak to either of us, our email is acetrainerspodcast@gmail.com. We hope to hear from you. Our intro music is Last Summer by Ixon, and our outro music is Snowbell City from Pokemon X and Y. See you on the next episode.
Bye!
Bye!
Bye!